So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. DevOps Days Istanbul will be opened by a speech by DevOps Days Istanbul team. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Erkan Binici, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Erkan Binici. I am from the DevOpsDays Istanbul organization team and I'm working in Borsa Istanbul software development team. And I would like to say again welcome to all of you to our conference on behalf of our organization team, our sponsors, and on behalf of our speakers. As you know, DevOps practices are spreading almost 7 years in the world. With an increasing speed of the software industry, IT teams supporting their software development processes by DevOps automations. Of course, it's not just automation. There are lots of technologies and tools comes with it. And the most important part is it comes with a culture change. You should change your development process, deployment process, and more important from all of them is you should change all the SDLC, software development lifecycle process, even architecture design and maybe business requirement gathering. They are all are related with the DevOps domain. In Turkey, if you say what's the situation in Turkey, it's almost the same with the rest of the world. We are using the DevOps keyword since 3 or 4 years in Turkey, and mostly internet business companies, startups, and some big corporate governments are leaders in this domain. And of course, the rest of the Turkey is following this migration period, as we have seen this crowd attendance to the conference. And I want to give some details about the conference preparation time, what we have done up to now. Actually, it was last September, I guess, we have first contacted with the Global DevOps Days organization team. We have told them the interest in the community ecosystem, interest to the DevOps in Turkey, and decided to make this event in this year. Actually, just 4 months ago, we have started to organize all the things. It was a very short time to prepare everything. We worked a lot and get it here, hopefully. And we arranged, we collected the proposals, we talked with speakers and arranged them. We contacted with the sponsors, and we just started to sell tickets, give tickets to you just 1 month ago. To be honest, it was a very short time. We are a bit worried that if we're able to do it or not. But we are happy to see all of you here. I hope you will get the most benefit and useful knowledge from the whole conference. And finally, let me to invite my friends Birge, Mesut, and Mehmet Ali. They will give you some small information about the Global DevOps Days organization and local DevOps Turkey community, what we are doing here now and what we would like to do, what we expect from you in this Turkey DevOps community. And finally, some little statistics, informations about the events itself. Please. And before leaving, I would like to thank another big team behind this event. We got, they helped us a lot. Actually, I can say that without their support, we couldn't achieve this successful event. It's Borsa Istanbul communication team. Thank you for your support.
Great. Hello, I'm Birge. I'm from the DevOps Organization Committee. I would like to give you some information about where DevOps Days is coming from. DevOps Days is a conference organized by developers and sysadmins for developers and sysadmins. It's a global, community-centered, truly independent and non-profit organization. The term DevOps appeared first in 2009 at the O'Reilly Velocity Conference, where two Flickr developers are giving a speech about devs and ops. It became a buzz and transferred to DevOps immediately. Debois from Belgium was viewing the conference online, and he inspired to launch the DevOps Days conferences. That's how the first DevOps Days took place in Ghent on 2009. The next year, at 2010, the term DevOps jumped to United States. This year, there are 36 different DevOps Days events organized globally by local communities, and this is the first time in Istanbul. Welcome. The only goal in this organization is getting better together, learn from each other, and even breed new solutions to the problems we are facing of each day. Please join and collaborate. We like to see you among organizers as well. We would like to thank the core committee of DevOps Days. They have supported us a lot. Dan from the committee is here. Dan, thank you very much for being us today. And I would like to give the speech to my friend Mesut. And before I die, and he is going to tell you about the DevOps Days Turkey.
Hello, I'm Mesut from organization team. I would like to talk about DevOps Turkey organization. First, we came together last year this time on May 2015 to increase the awareness of DevOps culture in Turkey. We decided to start DevOps Turkey as a non-profit community. We have organized 5 meetups so far, and we have almost 600 members on the meetup page. We are trying to be more active on Twitter and meetup.com. By this, we are targeting increasing software quality and delivery, reduce number of repetitive jobs, encourage open source contribution, raise competitive leverage to software development houses and individuals. Last but not least, create a global recognized community in Istanbul. Our aim is to bring people together, share knowledge, experience, and grow community. Attendees are mostly passionate, experienced professionals. We are trying to achieve, share ideas, news via Twitter, organize monthly meetups at K-Works, workshops with hands-on exercises, and of course, organize DevOps Days. Please do remember, this is a community event empowered by volunteers like you. Please join us. We are waiting for your support. You can follow us on Twitter at DevOpsTR. You can join meetups on meetup.com. You can be a speaker, raise your voice, tell your stories and experiences. Thank you very much for your attention.
Hello everyone, this is Mehmet Ali. I'm in the organization team. Let me start with the organizers. Actually, the slide was Mesut's, but it seems he forgot this. Please say welcome to these organizers. Today I will give you a brief information about the event and the format. Each day follows mixed talks and open spaces. Talks are the usual ones. Ignites are the lightning fast presentations that contains 20 slides, and every slide will be changed automatically every 15 seconds. And the open spaces are the dialogue part. You can create your discussion groups on the most important topics to you. I want to give some statistical information about the event. Today it's very crowded in here actually, but there are some free seats. They must be in the entrance hall. There is more than 200 people registered, and 9 speakers and 7 igniters will give us about 400 minutes of talks, and we will discuss about 24 topics in the open spaces. And let's shake the social media today. Please send your tweets with DevOpsDays hashtag. And don't forget to follow us. And the staff team, please stand up, staff team. There, and here. We are here to help you anytime. And I would like to thank our speakers. We are thrilled to listen their talk. And thank you to our sponsors. We can make it happen without your support. And thank you to all for being a part of DevOps Days Istanbul. Enjoy it.
So thank you very much, DevOps Istanbul team. Our next speaker is Mr. Quentin Adam. Mr. Adam will deliver a speech entitled IT Automation and DevOps. What is the future of infrastructures?
Just do not warm it in. Is it better?
Just wait a second. All right, that's fine.
Okay, it seems okay to me. Okay, hi everyone. I'm very happy to start the DevOps Day at Istanbul. So, let's start. For those who don't know me, my name is Quentin Adam, and I have a very weird Twitter handle available on GitHub, Twitter, everything. One of the good things with very weird, pseudo, it's available everywhere, so I'm very happy with that. And this is my day-to-day job. I'm leading a company called Clever Cloud, which is an IT automation company. Basically, our job is to make your application online. So developer push, and we keep their app online with automatic monitoring, automatic healing, automatic scalability, security updates, anything with that. So basically, just push and it's working. And we have a cloud or an on-premise solution for big customer. And doing that, because we have customers in 1,400 countries, cities, something like that, like big customers, like bank or something not very cool, or small startups, or even like individual developers. So many type of customers, we learn a lot supporting them about good design, bad design, how to work with them. And we try to give back to the community through speech or our blog. So, our industry is pretty new, It's something we have, I don't know, 40 years old, something like that. And from nothing, we have built $1 billion company. And this $1 billion company have a very large footprint on the world. like Microsoft, Google, or Uber. It's a very big company. And as we're making so much money on the IT industry, nobody takes time to think about how we work. What is the way we work? Because, you know, it's making so huge money, so never ask for this. So let's just take some time to think about how we work, why we work, and what is the way we are evolving. First, the development of tools is deeply linked to the mankind evolution. In fact, the mankind evolution is linked to something called the progress. Technological progress is something we are not linear. Technological progress of evolution on accelerating. There is a guy called Richard Zweig. He has written a book, The Age of Digital Machine, who we describe something called the law of accelerating returns. The law of accelerating returns say if you achieve a technical step, the next one will be closer. If we find the X-ray, a lot of new medical things will be very much easier to try. And using the technical progress, we have enhanced the world to enhance the way we live, to have fancy live, like our life is so different than 1 century ago, and be able to manage our population growth on the planet. And this is why we're creating some tools. At the beginning, tools were very simple, you know. We create a rock, take another rock, break it, and you have something we can slice it or something like that. Then we're enhancing the production, focusing on just very specific people who have the specific competencies to find the good rocks to break and find another breaker, you know, maybe find the very good rock, achieve it to break other rocks better. And this is how we enhance the production. And the best way to achieve the production is leading to the industrialization. Industrialization is something good. Because when I say industry, a lot of people are there, oh no, it's not cool, it's blue collar, and they think about the Taylorism. Tailor way to work is not good. But industrialization means something very interesting. It means be able to reproduce at cost efficiency a way to produce very large volume. Using a repeatable and scalable process. This is very important, you know. Take a clipper, you know, the clipper to take the paper together. Just imagine what will be the price of a clipper if it will be forged by hand by a blacksmith. The price of the clipper, making it impossible to use, because nobody can get a clipper for, I don't know, $30 just to take paper together, so we will never use clipper. This is why industry is important, because industry gives you the ability to have more and more usage. And the best way to go on industry is achieve the way of having commodity. A commodity is when a product becomes more a concept than this product from this company. If you're using a pen, you're using a pen. You don't know which pen. You don't care about which pen. What you want is something able to write on the paper. And the commoditization is something very important for you, because what's leading is if a product is a commodity, you can use it wherever you want at very affordable cost. In the 19th centuries, we have industrialized the manufacturing because we will be able to replace the human muscle by the engine. So we take what humans do before using the muscle, and we build on top of that the engine. But today, what's happening is something more interesting. It's the computer. And the computer, if you think about that, is a very efficient tool to industrialize the brain power of people. A computer is basically the engine for the intellectual service commoditization, for the industrialization of the intellectual service. So this is why we are in an era of industrial revolution. There is something important there. When we go to the school, we say there is a primary, the secondary, and the tertiary sector of economy. This is all bullshit. There is only way to achieve economy, it's industry. When we do agriculture, when we do peasantry right now, it's nothing like 2 centuries ago. It's an industry to make food. Industry is an industry. But right now what's happening is in the tertiary sector, we're building an industry of intellectual services. And this is very important. Just giving you a few examples. Like something like 20 years ago in the company, you have a math service and people making use of math. Does anybody in the room know about how to compute a geometrical average? You know, it's the possibility to make an average over the accelerating things of a growth. It's so complicated to calculate by your hands, but you can do that with Excel. Everybody is using Excel for making the math. There is no more people when, you know, you go back to their office, giving them some paper and saying, okay, I need this math for next week, and come back next week, and this guy is doing the math. So basically, we have taken all what we do with our brain to the computer, making this using Excel. Comparing price. At the very first beginning of the century, there was people with catalog saying, okay, what is the cheapest price to buy some stuff? No, we have algorithm to say, okay, this price is a better. And this price is a better, but you will have 2 days later. And you know, trending on that. It's now the job of the machine. And the accountability. Before, the bookkeeper were the people who write on the book the accountability of the company. But right now, accountability is more the way to trick the law to pay more, less tax. It's more something like that. It's not making the accountability of the company. This is made by computers. And geolocation. Just a few years ago, it was, you have to know the city where you're going. And cab driver was about to know all the road on the city to be able to drive you in. Right now, you rely on Google Maps and Waze. And this kind of example are growing and growing. For example, there is all the work on translation or image recognition, because there is something amazing today called the machine learning and neural network. Who know machine learning in the room? Okay, I'll give you a small hint about that. The basic idea of machine learning is to make an algorithm able to work like your brain does. Imagine you have plenty of small algorithms, and what they have to do is to be able to just calculate a value between 0 and 1 for each thing you put on that. And if you put a lot of information inside your brain network, you will see, if I put a cat images inside the brain network, the neuron will be more on 1 and more on 0 will be this pattern. And you will be doing that for tons of images and pictures. Then after, what's embedding is, if you take an images and put it like that, and you see the pattern of the neural network, you will be able to say, hey, this is a cat. This is changing everything. Like for years, recognized images was people making algorithms to try to figure out how our brain making the differentiation of pictures. And each time they're gaining 0.01% of right values, right, like just a percentage for that. Now they make progress by 5% to 5% because of the machine learning. Machine learning is amazing. You definitely have to ask. Yeah, there is many videos on websites on the internet with, okay, what is machine learning? Just take 10 minutes. I have to go there because it will be a major break on the whole software industry. Okay. moving on. Developers. The developer, do you know this picture? Steve Ballmer just realized once that nobody will work with Win32 APIs more because it was some crap. And developers are just moving away from Microsoft. He moved a big way on how to make better software on the Microsoft platform, the old WPF framework, the whole new Visual Studio, all this work coming from this revelation. And when he launched that, he made a conference, and he was standing on stage for about something like 5 minutes, just saying, developers, 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 developers. He's sweating. It's going in a very bad stage, because he knew it was really important to get the developer on the Microsoft platform, because the developer are creating tools. And if you think about that, they are creating the power tools of industrialized brain power. Which mean the tools to improve the business. And I'm working on a startup. It's also the tools to improve the life and improve the world. But basically what you know to think about this is developers know and understand the process to create value inside their company. And they know and understand the process to create the money. And this is important. This is why startups are disrupting market. When you speak about startup disrupting market, you think, okay, there is Uber. They get all about transportation in a city. Okay, they industrialize it and making a lot of software building on top of it and managing it. And when there was thousands of people organizing the city transportation, there is just a few and a bunch of software making it, and the kick-ass and making something and pointing it, software is eating the world. Software is eating the world is a sentence by a guy called Mark Andreessen. He is the founder of Andreessen Horowitz, one of the best funds in the Valley, but also the founder of the company called Netscape Communicator. Okay, Netscape Communicator was not successful as a company, but this guy have invented the web browser. So just that when Mark Andreessen says something, just pay attention. And developers become more important to the business because the most important thing is to think how we can use the time we have at the best potential, how to use the human brain to the best choice of work. Did you know about the V process? We're making a full description of what we want. People are working on this for 3 years, and after 3 years, we deliver a software which doesn't fit with the market needs because we have write what we need, what we think it will be needed by a team, but we don't know if it's really that, and then the market change in 3 years. So basically, we just deliver a dream, a whole dream of something 3 years later, and large part of the team is totally depressed and don't want to work on the IT anymore. And why we have this kind of process? Because at the beginning, software was an investment. Like, really, it's managed like real estate. The bookkeepers make the company drive and think, okay, we will invest in the software. And we will repay the software on 3 years. So basically, if we pay a software now, it has to be running like that for 3 years, which is basically totally stupid, because the software needs to be fitted in the market. Because the software is very tied to the market and how the company is acting on the market, it has to be fitted on that, and it has to be constantly improved. And for this, the software is something I call a continuous delivery service. Software had to be able to change in every time and not making rigid structure like, okay, deliver this in 3 years. Because we need to improve continually our industrial assets. So, we need to become the architect of the business factory of the company. And there are no blue-collar worker anymore. IT is not blue-collar. IT is someone thinking to be connected to the vision of the business. And when you think about that, developer is no more a job. It's a point of view. It's a point of view because it's acting like someone understanding what is the business of the company and making a business architect skill. So It's a builder of a brain industry tools to achieve a next progress step and be able to make competition on the market. I summarize this very long introduction. I'm so sorry about that, but I summarize this long introduction to the blog post, so you can find it just to refresh your memories if you want. So, thinking about that, we are creating software. And when we're creating software, we're using framework, build tools, a source management system, continuous integration. Everybody have a continuous integration with full coverage of unit tests in the room? Pretty sure about that? You know, unit testing, functional testing, and this is a full automated software factory. Okay, I totally agree with that. It's an industrial way of thinking. It's cool. And then we deploy it to servers. Basically, we deploy it to a server. A server where we support to have an operating system, and we're running a bunch of middleware about this, so people connect, install some middleware, and say, okay, we need some monitoring, because if something goes sour, we'll need to do that. And then we have a meeting about, we'll need a meeting about what is a backup policy. If something goes sour, we will not go die. This game is amazing. And this is not industrial, you know. Connect to a server, install things on it, building your apps, because there is a human doing that. It's not industrial. So yeah, all in the room, you can say, okay, there is some cloud here, there is infrastructure on the service and things like that. Okay, I see a lot of my customers doing AWS, you know, we're Amazon Web Service, we're on the cloud. Yeah, but they manage it like plain whole server, but they are on the cloud. So it's expensive, but they're happy to that. You can use a virtual server, it's okay, it's not the point. What is important is, do you have still some manual tasks to perform? Or all of what we are going to this, is it pluggable? Pluggable is something like electricity. Electricity is a very good, you know, it's something interesting, because when you think about electricity at the beginning of the 20th centuries, people are saying, you know, we have our own team dedicated for electricity production. You know, we know how to do it. There is 7 engineers. We're doing this for 20 years. We know how to deal with that. And you know what? All of our production is made with 7.3 electricity continuous, you know, continuous voltage, something like that. And we have so specific needs. You know, we are an industry working with engine, but we have so specific needs. You cannot centralize it and make a power plant deliver the electricity for everyone. It was exactly what people say. And it was acting with a deep dependency linking, you know. If you produce your own electricity, you will produce a chain of production with exactly what you are able to produce. So something working on your own home. Right now, when you're buying electricity, it's not, you're not buying a power plant. You're just buying electricity. And every electricity you consume is made exactly the same thing. We haven't have exactly the same thing to plug it. It's a commodity. And it will be like very fun if I say, do you have an electricity project? If you need some electricity, you just buy electricity, that's all. But people say to me, okay, we have a hosting project. Just thinking about that, I go back to my house and decide to turn on the TV. And I fall into the power plant. Okay, I think I will turn on the TV. It's an electricity project. Do you be able to sustain that? Maybe we need to decide about a contract, something like that. What people do today, they're asking something, maybe we will need a new server, you know, something interesting. What the fuck? Just start a server, working on that and destroy it. You will ask me too if you are able to turn off the TV too? It's, you know, it's crazy. And it's like this way because there is no industrial way to think. Because ops today is fine, tailored, and people making things. And you go to the server, SSH something, you connect to the server, and you're making what you think you need to that. So, all the people in the room needs to wake up. First, the production has to be perfect. And if you think about that, the human is not perfect. So basically, people have nothing to do on production stuff. You cannot have good production if there is human active. At Clever Cloud, if there is an SSH connection, there is a red alert, there is a fucking human on production. There is something weird happening, you know? Like, it's not the way things have to happen. Because you have to think hosting as a platform. A standard way to host software, without to think about it, you know, like, okay, I need to push something on production, like, push something on production. So, what is the platform? The platform is the ability for the ops team to deliver hardware, software, and service on top of that. So basically, the work of a developer just has to stop at the git push, if writing code. And then the application deploy, sometimes. It has to deploy without downtime. Downtime is something I don't get, you know. If you have maintenance time, you have to connect to the business people and say, okay, we will need to cut your application just to make an update. Business people don't get about that. They don't have a clue. When you're going to your home and turn on TV, you don't know, maybe the electricity provider is making a maintenance on one of the power plant. You don't give a fuck. Whatever. The electricity will come for another power plant. Maintenance time are not good for the business. You need to avoid it using a good production team. Then you need to use build system because of the reproducibility of your build. And the ability to upscaling and downscaling have to be handled by the platform. You know, you cannot say, okay, I will turn on all the light on my house and maybe it will not crash the electricity. You know, upscaling and downscaling have to be automatically handled by the platform because you cannot have the developer saying, okay, maybe we will add some loads. Basically, you can also use something called the health scaling. It's not a problem, but you have to really launch a failure. There is something I don't get, you know. There is the monitoring system sending an email to a service centers where there is a guy who don't know anything about the application receiving the emails saying, okay, when there is the error 82, you need to go to the documentation and the documentation say, okay, do that. This job is not interesting. And you can do it with software. If the monitoring say it's done, just relaunch it with the software. You don't need the people to do that. And the backup policy have to be like, everything is backup. Well done, it's automated. And all the things have to be self-service. Self-service is very important. Self-service is the ability for developer to just deploy nothing without talking to anyone. Because we don't want people to talk to each other for saying not interesting thing. Asking for a server is not interesting. They just have to say, okay, we launch a new product, I connect, I push new things. So the self-service inside the company is so important. And this is why the job of ops is dying. There will be some platform manager, but ops is no more a job. We will replace it with software. So if you are ops inside the room, just move to platform manager, developers, whatever you want. But this job is dying. Just giving you an example. In France, I don't know about Turkey, but in France, one ops can manage something like 200, 300 server, you know. At Facebook, which is a really well automated facility for software, one people is able to manage 25,000 servers. We are speaking about that scale. So, we'll be moving like that. For this, we have something very interesting called the immutable infrastructure. Immutable infrastructure is to think about how to manage server. If a server has an history, you don't know if the server is up to date. Maybe it's updating to the particular version because we need something weird. Because maybe it's a version 2.2.3, but the thing is we have edited a config file inside the production factory because, you know, fixes something in the production stuff. maybe it do not work, I don't know. You have any story. What I think is an instance is a server, a virtual machine, basically, has to be dead or alive, and that's all. It's working or it's not working, and that's all. And we never have tailor-made things because we don't make to create history. Create history inside the server is a very big problem because you don't know how to react if there is a problem. If you have servers with very simple way in immutable infrastructure where to work, like the server is working or not working, you have very simple way to manage the stuff. Like the application failed, okay, no shit, redeploy your new instances, it will be working. The operating system need an update, okay, redeploy new instance, no way. We need to rebalance the hardware allocation, this server had to be decommissioned. Okay, no, nothing, just redeploy a new instances. This application have failed. Okay, just redeploy a new instancing. It's simple. I have always the same answer to a problem because I know there is a state where something works, something don't work. Something is not up to date, just redeploy. That's it. And never update. Because all the servers are to be statelessness. Statelessness things, they don't know, they have no identity from themselves. They are just workers running on that, and there is no data, there is no specifics, there is nothing about that something we need to be on that. And it's consistent and predictable. Be consistent and predictable is very important. If you're taking the monitoring example, if the server's sending you a request, you answer to a request, it's okay. It's taking you like hundreds of milliseconds. But your servers is also giving access to large video files of 2 gigabytes. It's taking you 1 second, 2 seconds, something like that. So that means in your monitoring that the way the server is running is something between 200 milliseconds and 2 seconds, it's normal. So if your server starts to become slower and slower, you will never notice it until it will be way too slower. And as you know, problem of the performances problem are never linear. It's exponential. Because somewhere there, you made the way that an event is slower than the next event. So you cannot have the resolution of an event before at the next int. So there, you're going in the state where the servers don't work anymore. And if the server is going to have just simple monitoring, and 100 milliseconds, at 150 milliseconds, you have a problem. This is the consistency and the predictability of the way you work. It's okay. It's everything is the same thing in the server, and we be consistent and predictable. And you need to think the service uptime different than the server uptime. There is people saying to me, okay, this server is so amazing. You have 12 years uptime. Oh God. What will be happening if I restart it? The guy who starts the server is no more in the company. We don't know. 12 years of history. If there is one problem, we'll die. Inside Clever Cloud, if a server has more than 7 days, we know we have a problem. You can have the service sometime, but not the server. Because server have to be fresh. If you don't want to create a story, be sure there is no time for a story. And there is also something happening on this field, it's the security. The security is evolving, This is the number of important declarations of security leaks years by years. And as you can see, it's growing like hell. And now, what's happening is we cannot rely on old code. Old code is just old. It's not battle tested, it's old. Taking Poodle, Ghost, Shellshock, all these major security leaks from last year was already fixed in the code base. But in Debian, you have it, because Debian decide it's okay to have 4 major versions of the glibc retard. So basically, they don't know, but there was a security leaks inside the thing. No, beyond security is to be corner edge. Like every time It's something we call, it's not a process, it's a process, it's not a reaction. You cannot react to security alert. You need to be on a process of updating all the things every time. It's changing the way like all the security is working. There is a blog post summarizing that on our blog, by the way. And the other problem with security is the fortress metaphor, saying, okay, there is no problem, we are inside our network. So we are on a trusted network. There is no more trusted network. We have all this in our company. We will trust this. We go back to our own with our computer. Your children are playing with that. You will trust this kind of thing? No. When you are inside the network of the company, you are not in a fortress. Just think there is plenty of things. So authenticated, encrypted everywhere. You cannot be on an API without encryption and without authentication thing, yeah, but it's internal, you know. We are in a trusted network. There is no trusted network. There is only a network you trust, but you haven't to rely on that. And you need to choose your fight. You are going to a world of experts, you know. In the 15th centuries, there was a guy in every castle. We want the guy know anything about the medicine, all Latin text, books, astronomy, because basically all the humanity knows can fit in the head of just one people. But right now, there is not just one guy who will maybe doing brain surgery, going to space, and running a worldwide record. It's not the same thing, you know. All of what we know in the industry is not fitable on the head of just one guy. And there is why, on the software industry, we are starting to slice the ability of doing things. Maybe you are a developer who already know the business of your company. Maybe you are an ops. Maybe you are a low-level developer able to make Linux performances gaining, I don't know, 80% on something special. But you don't know the business of the company. You have to choose your fight, decide where you are good, and going to be an expert of this world. Basically, it's a wording. Some of the people think DevOps means Dev plus Ops. It's not the developer going to do the job of Ops because Ops do their job badly. I know, a lot of Ops doing their job badly, but there is not the point. Developer has to be developer. Ops have to be ops. DevOps is a collaboration between the two. It's not one replacing the others. Because you need to be an expert. So basically, when I heard some developers saying, okay, just give us access to a Docker daemon, we will push some Docker on that. Yeah, do you know how to make an update? Who to follow about that? What is a cert? You know, this kind of stuff, very important when you're putting something in production. You have to write some code, just making the job of ops. If you want to become an ops, yeah, be my guest. But don't try to be the two. It's a nonsense in the history, you know. And from a company's perspective, it's important. In majority of companies, the people from infrastructure and development are not together. And what's happening is when people from the software development asking for a server, the people from infrastructure say, hey, sure, but the server will be added to our balance sheet. So the bookkeepers will be saying to us, we're losing some money, so why do you need a server? Do you really need a server? You know, we don't want to give you a server in less than 3 months. Things like that. Because this kind of company, I just forget, we have the same goal in the IT industry, and making separation of the two parts, making the two parts have non-interest alignment, which they fight together, and they lose some time. It's not good. DevOps is that mean. Just take the two parts of the infrastructure and software development and merge it together to have common goals. Because it's important to have common goals for this guy, you know? The other thing is about the production binary. A lot of people explain to me right now that if a developer can write the production binary on his laptop, it's good. I don't think like that. When I am on my laptop, I have debugger, trace performances, not maybe the last version of, I don't know, JDBC or something like that. I don't know how to compile it for production. Production has to be made for production things. So it's cool to have a factory of software behind the tools. Because it cannot be a good thing to just taking what the developers do and put it on production without to analyze what I've been doing and just make it on purpose. So you need to think of what is your dependency level. If you're just running some Java, you don't need to package it inside a container because you just rely on Java. If you rely on native application, maybe you need some containers, but watch out. If you're packaging a container, you're packaging all the low-level binary except the kernel. So basically, when you put it in production, you are running a non-tested and maybe very malicious version on the JDBC and the kernel together. So be aware of that and think about that before. And maybe you need to ship some appliance inside virtual machine. Maybe you need to be linked to the hardware, but you have to be focused on the efficiency. Just be DevOps is not, okay, we hold Docker. Be DevOps is a process. So you have to be focused on the efficiency of, okay, what is a layer? What is the layer of an infrastructure of the service we offer to the company and how we make the business? What is my added value on the layers? All the part with I have no added value doing this as a human have to be automated. Or maybe I can bring this to a public cloud managing. Sending a newsletter, okay? Very simple. How many companies try to send a newsletter from their own server? Maintaining the reputation of an email server is so complicated, it's so much work. Sending few millions of emails through Megan or Mailjet or something like that, it's just few euros. Who cares? Anyway, it's newsletter, it's public information. So you can push on that. And you can push to the community. Because, you know, developers have to be able to create a database like, okay, I need a database. I have my database. That's all. Now, okay, just sending an email to the infrastructure guy and maybe in 3 months you have a database will be not the version you need or something like that. Oh, you want a Redis database? Ah, yeah. You don't make that. You have only Oracle. Yeah, but I know an in-RAM memory database. Yeah, only Oracle. This kind of stuff. Push to commodity. Writing a Redis database, okay, we have a cloud system, push a button, we have a Redis database. And you need to think every time you have a process in your industry, we have to use the human brain for valuable usage. This is the hint point. So, thank you very much for listening to me. And I have plenty of very cool, clever cloud stickers around there. So, just ask me and you will get some stickers. If there is some question.
I have a question. I can get a mic.
I was curious about, you mentioned that you have alerts when someone SSHs into your servers. Is that right? How do you manage situations when there is some kind of problem related to compatibility of the application layer with the operating system or the platform that you provide?
Yeah. Most of the time, the bots are all self-updating the system. So most of the time, there is the clever cloud structure is about 400 and more software working together, and most of the time, the bots just dealing the problem themselves. When there is a problem, bots cannot rely on. The monitoring asks for people, and the people managing the shit, writing a post-incident ticket, and just updating a new bot, managing this case. It's happening like 5 times a year, something like that. The wake-up calls is very rare inside the organization. No.
Thank you for the great speech. It was really helpful for us to understand the history and the future of the DevOps. My question is about, okay, so now there were the servers, and now there is cloud. And people are developing, and then now the releasing and continuous integration and releasing the software that you developed fastly to the production. And now I see companies like yours, like Clever Cloud, Electric Cloud, and some other companies attending in this conference. How companies like yours are helping the industry? How can you help the companies to make the operation better? I would like to understand the way you help the companies. If you elaborate that a little bit. Thank you.
Okay. From my point of view, there is few tasks we need to perform on ops. First, there is the deployment system, which is basically the ability to take new version, manage how many virtual machines we will spawn, and ability to take the code of what we push to the virtual machine, deploying it, and make it work. This is the first thing. We offer a software doing that, which is basically able to deliver on the cloud or on-premise inside the infrastructure of our customers. So we just put it on the infrastructure and it's working. This is the first task. And basically, there is many solutions on the industry to do that. The second problem is more complicated, is the ability to perform update on that. So if you want to update weekly or daily basis the infrastructure, you need to be able to build images and new templates every week and reboot the whole infrastructure on top of that without that maintenance time. So it's a work of the platform have to be able to avoid the maintenance time, but more, there is a continuous work about making some updates. And this is more complicated work to do. And the third work is about to be on support. Because a developer, when he push, he has some question. And you cannot just like pull the software and say, okay, I leave you there. There is more things to do, like, okay, I don't get, maybe I have the need of a MySQL, maybe I have the need of the PostgreSQL. Which do you recommend in this situation? And then the support has to answer a question. And I think these 3 pillars are very important to making the company working better. So basically what we do at Clever Cloud is provide this on-premises for big customers. So we set up on this and we provide support on top of this. Or we can provide this on cloud, which is very cheap. You can start your application for less than $5 per month, and making this working on the time. Does this answer your question? Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. Another question?